Breaking news just coming in right there. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to be addressing the nation at 5 p.m. today. That is 7th June. That's the latest coming in right there. 5 p.m. is when the Prime Minister is going to be addressing the nation today. We do not have information right now as to what this address is going to be about. But given the coronavirus crisis in this country and the unlock that has begun slowly all over the country, perhaps it could just be that. We do not know as of right now. The information coming in is number one, the Prime Minister Modi is going to be addressing the nation. Number two, this is going to happen at 5 p.m. this evening. Paulami Saha, who tracks the Bharatiya Janata Party, is now joining us, breaking the story first here on India Today. Paulami, do we have any information on what this address could be all about? One would imagine that because of the coronavirus crisis and the unlock that has begun, perhaps it would be on the lines of addressing the nation in terms of what to do and what not to do.
Absolutely, Chetty. Obviously, because this information is just trickling in from the Prime Minister's office that he will be addressing the nation in a televised address at 5 p.m. This evening. We're yet to collect details on what is this exactly likely to be about. But there is obviously a lot of, there are a lot of issues that the Prime Minister could possibly address. One is about the fact that, there are states which have gone in for partial lockdown already, for unlock, I beg your pardon. And that process has begun. So clearly he could be asking the citizens of the country to, obviously stay cautious in the face of this, because we've had a really serious phase of the second phase of the coronavirus pandemic, and we did, lose a lot of lives, as a result of which, we had to go into very strict lockdown this year as well. So remember the past as well. The Prime Minister has taken the opportunity to address the nation and tell the people that even if successive governments, state governments were going in for unlock, the people on the ground needed to be extremely cautious, because we cannot afford to have another wave of the pandemic bring us down to our knees. And that is something which is obviously being feared, that there could be a third wave. So for us to be cautious is extremely important. And it's likely that the Prime Minister could be addressing that and telling the people how to, of course, concentrate on ensuring that they still maintain safe distance, social distancing, wear their masks, and
hearing from the Prime Minister himself makes a huge difference. Paulami, what about the vaccine situation? That is, the vaccine shortage is something that needs to be addressed. Many people want answers to this. Perhaps the Prime Minister would look to address the vaccine shortage issue as well today. Of course, I know officially there is no word on what this address is going to be like. We're just speculating at the moment. But given what is going on today, it just looks likely that these are going to be the issues that are going to be discussed. Paulami?
That's right. That is also one of the issues. In fact, I would as well, Chetty, you rightly point out that the Prime Minister is also likely to speak about the issue of vaccine shortage, as well as there are a lot of people who are yet to be vaccinated across the country. We know that the centre and the state governments have been, in certain states, been locked in a war of words about whose responsibility is it really to ensure, that the process is happening fast and smooth. We know that a lot of states have now petitioned the central government, saying you need to take back the process of procurement into your own hands and leave the distribution to us. We know that Naveen Patnaik, or the Odisha Chief Minister, wrote to a lot of Chief Ministers trying to bring them to a consensus on this issue, that it is quite impossible for the state governments to procure vaccines, because then it becomes competitive between the states, and the whole aspect of differential pricing, the aspect of global tenders, which is not yielding much result. These are some of the issues which are, concerning the states as far as their part and their proportion of procurement of vaccines from manufacturers is concerned, which is about 25%, because 50% is centre procuring vaccines for the 45+ age group, but the other 50%, 18 to 44, is to be acquired 25% by the state governments and 25% by private hospitals.
Hold on right there, Paulami. I request you to hold on right there. Rahul Srivastava, National Affairs Editor, is joining us on this broadcast. Rahul, we've just got news coming in. The two facts that we know is that the Prime Minister is going to be addressing the nation, and the second fact is that he's going to be addressing the nation at 5 p.m. Rest, all of what we're talking about, we're speculating as to what the address could be. And as Paulami rightly pointed out as well, given the coronavirus situation in this country, the vaccine shortage and the unlocking that has begun, perhaps the address is going to be on these lines. What is your sense?
Yes, Chetty, over the last few days, there have been two very clear indicators. One is that the states who were initially mandated to procure through global tenders and other means the vaccine for their population have thrown up their hands and said that it is virtually impossible for them to procure the vaccination. A letter series was started by Naveen Patnaik, the Chief Minister of Odisha, in which he had said that the center should procure and there should be a decentralized mechanism of distribution and vaccination by the state. Now, given the scenario, yesterday, Nirmala Sitharaman, the finance minister, also very clearly indicated that the center may be may discuss the proposal for procuring vaccination. Now, that couldn't have happened up till and unless there was a talk within the government about a central procurement of vaccination. What our sources are telling us that this issue also figured in a meeting between the General Secretaries and the Prime Minister of the BJP, in which it was discussed that how the center is trying to make an effort, whatever the efforts have the center have been, the BJP should go and talk about, especially in the critical states. Now, what we are told that the center had a budget outlay of 35,000 crore rupees as far as the vaccination drive is concerned. What top sources are telling us that amount was suitable for vaccinating twice 100 crore people in the country. That's 35,000 crore. Now, initially the contract signed by the center with the vaccine manufacturers was for 150 rupees per vaccination. Now the prices could be altered, but the center may enter into negotiation and that budgetary outlay is there. And that is why the center is sounding more and more confident that by July period, the entire situation as far as vaccination availability is concerned is going to ease down. What we are hearing that Prime Minister's main word would be on how there is a slide in the numbers as far as the COVID case is concerned. There is need to actually remain vigilant, follow protocols. Second is an assurance on vaccination. And third could well be that the government is actively considering the distress which is being felt by people. And there have been talk about whether certain segments of industry and others could be provided certain assistance.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about, because there are just so many people suffering, so many people who have lost their lives as well through this second wave of the pandemic. Nobody really expected the lockdown to go on for that long too. Perhaps some sort of incentives being doled out to people amidst different sections of society. Are you picking up anything on that front, Rahul?
Chetty, the government has since last year, March, when the lockdowns were announced, has done one thing. It has not fallen to the temptation of populism in terms of handing out direct cash dole. There have been certain assistance to the poorest of the poor in terms of women and others, but in terms of large-scale dole being provided in terms of physical cash relief has not happened. Second, stimuluses the government has been against. If you see all the Atmanirbhar tranches, it has more been incentivizing and hand-holding than direct benefit being doled out. And I think the government, led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has not displayed any tendency towards direct doles.
Right. Well, there's no big drastic announcement that you're expecting at this point from the sources that you're close to in the central government, Rahul. You're picking up that it's just going to be on the lines of addressing India's COVID fight as we unlock, and not a very big drastic announcement coming in, right?
See, what we are saying that it's not a matter of a drastic announcement, could well be. What we are hearing that it could well be a very positive kind of announcement on the vaccination front. That vaccination front, remember, Chetty, is becoming a political issue also, with all the state governments now throwing up their hands and blaming in a united fashion, in a very unified manner, the central government for the mess the nation finds itself in as far as the vaccine drive is concerned. So much so that if India's 70% population has to be inoculated twice by December end, then you will need something close to 1 crore vaccinations being carried out every day. And that is why the current level of 15 to 16 lakhs supplied every day is rather too small. There has to be a huge spurt. And that is why, given the kind of politically adverse climate building, the Prime Minister is likely, what sources are saying, on a positive promise as far as the vaccination front could well be.
Right, Paulomi also stay with us right now. Paulomi, what murmurs are you picking up at the moment from your sources in the BJP on the address at 5 p.m. as the states go in for an unlock? We're hearing from the Prime Minister after a while on this, and of course everyone would be looking forward to know what he has to say today.
Absolutely. This is, coming after a while that the Prime Minister is, of course, addressing the nation. So like Rahul was pointing out, it is expected to be a sort of a message to tell the nation that, we have fought well with the second wave of the virus, given that it was so crippling. It brought us down to our knees. There were many states that, grappled very badly with the second wave of the virus. But given that now states are going in for a partial lifting of, we have been able to fight our way through the second wave of the coronavirus pandemic. But that doesn't mean that we can let our guard down, that we can start, not being mindful of the restrictions that continue to be in place in many sectors and across the states. So we need to continue to maintain those levels of restrictions in our everyday life. We know that he has made those sort of appeals in the past as well through his addresses to the nation, and that is something that he's going to address. He's likely to address today as well. And then, of course, the focus will be on the vaccination program as well, given that that is our only answer, and across the world, it is the only answer in terms of dealing with this pandemic and getting a grip over it, conquering it, and moving forward across the world. So in terms of that, there has been a lot of criticism about the shortage in supply of vaccines and how states now are, of course, throwing their hands up and saying that the centre needs to now decentralize the process.
Bracing for the third wave is going to be a big one. Rahul Srivastav also with us. Rahul, even after the first wave, we saw the address of the Prime Minister. He laid out a few protocols. He addressed the nation. He guided the nation in terms of what needs to be done. We saw the second wave. It wasn't very easy for the people. There are many unanswered questions now, and also the fright of there being a third wave too. Perhaps that could be on the agenda for him to address?
Yes, Chetty, definitely. You see what is happening, there has been a slide. And if you notice, correspondingly, as the numbers of COVID cases being reported in the country go down, there have been certain announcements about easing of the restrictions all over the country. Nearly 1 month back, you had something close to 98% districts in the country under one or varying degrees of restrictions at one time. And now, given that fact that slow restrictions easing is happening, the Prime Minister will like to this time around warn the people that this easing of restriction does not mean that the protocol needs to be blown to wind. And that's exactly what had happened when the first wave eased sometime post September, December period, that people threw caution to wind. There were large congregations, there was comb and everything. And after that, we had a very tragic, rampaging second surge. And if you look at the map of India, if there is restriction easing happening in, say, Delhi, NCR region, Noida and others, you find a very strange picture that the decrease in the northern region is much more significant and differential compared to southern cities. And that is why all states need to improvise as far as their own requirement and the caseload is concerned. And that is why one thing is certain is that the Prime Minister's caution is going to be one of the key elements of his address to the nation at 5 p.m. today.
Oh, that's going to be a big one. So 5 p.m. is when all of us are waiting to hear what the Prime Minister has to say. There's a big breaking news just trickling in right now. Prime Minister Modi going to be addressing the nation at 5 p.m. today. That's what we know so far. All of this we're speculating in terms of what could be discussed, what could not be discussed. Rahul, the vaccine shortage remains to be a big concern. States are complaining about there being vaccine shortages as well. The Prime Minister has had several meetings and talks with different chief ministers of various states too. Perhaps here we would know how quickly this issue could be resolved. Something on the kids' vaccine too.
Yes, see, Chetty, the vaccine issue is not as simple. It's not a switch on, switch off, because vaccines need to be ordered, vaccine needs to be manufactured, vaccine needs to be procured, delivered, and then inoculation needs to happen. There was an intervening period where we saw that the center and the states could not get their act together in terms of procuring and vaccinating the people. Also, the public remained extremely hesitant as far as accepting the vaccination is concerned. There were nearly January to April period till the second surge hit that there was great amount of hesitancy among the public to accept, so much so that by that period of May, only 37% of the frontline workers who were the first in the line for vaccination had taken their vaccination. So these are the few elements because of which India's vaccination drive withered. And that is why what we are being told, with the center now very actively considering a process in which it will be the central procurer of vaccines and states will be handed over, means center resuming that central hub position as far as vaccine procurement is concerned. That might actually speed up things. But how quickly that is going to happen, and what sources are saying, that Prime Minister could well use his speech today, address to the nation today, perhaps to indicate that positive news that perhaps everybody in the country has been waiting for. Because not just it eases the procurement process, because there are several indemnity, guarantee and other issues involved with foreign manufacturers, and funds issue involved with the domestic manufacturers, and also the domestic pricing is the pricing of the vaccine issue. The center have procured it at 150 rupees. Last time around in the first phase when the center vaccination started. So the center, it seems, is in a better position to bargain as far as a good price from the manufacturer is concerned. And that could well make the center a much more fitting entity to go in for a procurement. And what one is still being told by the sources, that the Prime Minister could give a positive signal on that front.
A positive signal definitely perhaps could come in on that front as well. The third wave fear looming large too. Perhaps a lot of protocol that could come into place too. Poulomi also has some details. Poulomi, what are you picking up from your sources in the BJP as far as the threat of the third wave is concerned and the Prime Minister's advice going out to the nation today?
Well, we know that, the BJP obviously has been carrying out various programs on the ground, as have other, organizations, political parties as well. So recently, the BJP, for instance, held a review meeting where they basically reviewed the progress of their program, which they started in the wake of the second wave of the coronavirus pandemic, called Seva Hi Sangathan. And after that, it was reviewed in a meeting between the BJP president and the general secretaries of the party. Obviously, elections, the assessment of the assembly elections gone by, and then, of course, the assembly elections that are to come up in the year 2020 to at least 5 states that are going to polls in 2022. All of that was done. But aside from that, in terms of reaching out to the people as a party, what has been done, that was assessed, and that was something which was discussed in a subsequent meeting that the Prime Minister had with the General Secretaries of the Bharatiya Janata Party as well, which lasted close to about 5 hours last evening at the Prime Minister's residence, where he did bring up the third wave of the COVID pandemic. And he did say that the BJP as a party, as an organization, needs to reach out as much as possible to the most remotest areas possible in order to, one, of course, reduce vaccine hesitancy, then, of course, ensure that medicines, the necessary health support reaches these areas in terms of medical support, reaches all of these areas, and the country is better prepared in order to deal with the third wave of the COVID-19 pandemic, which is being anticipated by medical experts in the next few months, starting August. So clearly, that is something which is playing on the minds of not just the health experts of the country, but those, of course, who are in charge of the same in the government as well, NITI Aayog, the Ministry of Health, and of course the Prime Minister's office monitoring the situation as well, given that there was a lot of flack and criticism as to how we seemed unprepared when the second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic hit us in terms of medical supplies, in terms of oxygen supplies in the country, as well hospital beds being available, various issues that basically the administration completely collapsed under, and it was down to the citizen, the common citizen, to fend for himself or herself, and that was hugely criticized across the country as well. So something that governments have taken stock of. Now they say that they're preparing for the third wave of the pandemic, and the center also looking at the same.
Absolutely. So unlock and need to follow protocol. That is going to be the probably the main pointers of what the Prime Minister could say. There's a preparation going on for the third wave. Rahul, in terms of the government's preparation going on for the third wave, what are you picking up overall in terms of how the government is prepping itself up to brace for the third wave?
Chetty, what one can say is that compared to the second surge, the third surge, the preparedness on the ground, I think few lessons have been learned. Interestingly, there is a line being talked about, which if I sum up, is that in the times of the second surge, the government, central and outside states, were dealing with unknown unknowns. And this time around, what the government says, social are indicating, is similar to known unknowns. Means there is a better sense of preparedness. See, for example, the availability of ventilators. A large amount of ventilators have been dispatched to state machinery and public sector medical facilities so that they can actually be prepared. The oxygen available in terms of oxygen plants, oxygen tankers, all that has been beefed up. Your capability in terms of ferrying oxygen from oxygen generation plants to the places where they are needed has already been tested and proven. So much so that if the peak of COVID-19 second surge was on May 8th and there was distress, by the time it was 15th of May, the easing of oxygen situation started at the end, say in the third week of May. That means now a system is in place. But the fact is that since COVID has been a very dynamic kind of a virus and it has struck at different levels, that is where this time around what one can say is that the lack of coordination which existed at the time of the second surge between center and the state, that could well ease down because the mechanisms now have been activated because of the second surge. And that's why somewhere there is a feeling in the government that the third surge could be met much better in terms. But the fact is that hinged to the third surge is the question of vaccination. The government wants to be ready with a large vaccine matrix by the time in case the third wave strikes, so that the number of people vaccinated keeps multiplying faster than the rate.
You spoke about the vaccination, you spoke about the third wave as well. Potentially, these are the two main topics that the Prime Minister could address the nation on. The other big one is the loss of livelihoods. And I think the nation would want answers on that front too, on the economy and how and when it will spring back to normalcy. Many people have lost their jobs, people have taken pay cuts, and the economy anyway wasn't doing very bad. And is a bit of a double whammy now, looking at the second wave and how badly the economy has been hit. Do you foresee any of these points being addressed by the Prime Minister today?
You see, the Prime Minister, if we go by the track record, past track record, has looked at the broad picture as far as the economy is concerned. And when it came to the nuts and bolts of the kind of schemes and policies the government announced, it was left to the finance minister. And if you see that several transfers of announcements by the finance minister under the Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme, 21 lakh crore worth of packaging in terms of not direct benefits, but yes, benefits extended in terms of credit line and others. The government credit line schemes are already in place. The food grain program is in place. So in terms of large announcements, one doesn't really indicating that the Prime Minister will actually announce point by point and make announcements. He could well be announcing a big picture. The Prime Minister has done that. That stayed close to the big picture. That so much so, say for example, the second tranche of the Kisan Samman Yojana, that was done by the Prime Minister. So the bigger picture, yes, the Prime Minister could well touch upon, but one always treats where there is a statutory warning with the Prime Minister. He's known to spring surprises.
Absolutely. That's a big story that we were just breaking at the moment. Absolutely an unexpected one. We got this particular big breaking story coming in that the Prime Minister is going to be addressing the nation at 5 p.m. today. At the moment, we are picking up from our sources in the BJP, in the central government, as to what this address perhaps could be. We're speculating.